When you first see this city, it seems much like other cities in today's world. Modern, designed for working and living, a place in which to enjoy the good taste of life. And so it is. This city of Casablanca, jewel of the Moroccos. A place some call home, some. But within this city, there's another city. This is the city inside the city, the Mela of Casablanca. Mela, ghetto, crowded, squalid, dark. A world apart from the main life of the city and the 20th century. 60,000 Jews once lived in this ghetto. Now tens of thousands are gone, ever since the trouble began. Yet life continues. Here, as in all the ghettos of the Arab world, life stayed the same for hundreds of years. Poor stayed hungry, the untutored stayed ignorant, those with trachoma grew blind, and the sick died. This was the way of the world. Who could hope for better? Until 1943. Then a hand reached over the ghetto wall. The helping hand of American Jews, represented by the Joint Distribution Committee of the United Jewish Appeal. Now a torrent of help poured into the Mela. Food for the hungry, medicine to fight sickness, education for those who would learn, and the darkness began to lift. Above all, there was help for the children. All the help that love and modern know-how could bring them. Yes, the darkness in the Mela was turning to light. then in 1955, the French left. Now Morocco was another independent Arab state. For Arabs, a future. For Jews, now a fear swept like a fierce wind from Morocco's cities to the legendary Atlas Mountains. It struck in towns few tourists have seen, but in which Jews have lived for hundreds of years. Towns with rich-sounding names and just a dirt road down the middle. Agouim, a few hundred miles and 20 centuries from Casablanca. A place where Jews lived as their ancestors lived in biblical times. Farmers and herdsmen, with fields to sow and reap, cattle to feed and milk, children to raise and teach, from season to season, and from generation unto generation. Agouim in the high Atlas, a place in which to live, to have friends, even Arab friends, to work, to use one's skill, to earn one's bread, to study the law, and to give thanks to the Eternal. Yes, life could have continued here and the many towns of Morocco, year after year, but for the change that came in 1955, when each man asked himself, what will happen to my child? This is Agouim on a special day, when young men came to talk with the elders and make arrangements for a going out, for an exodus, even as in the days of old, when the house of Israel marched forth from bondage in Egypt. The doctor, he who inscribes the papers, the photographer, all have much to do to prepare for the day of departure.
أنا حتى من لمسة الفلسطين بلش يخدموا الداود وشلال صلي الدرا اللي قالوا عندي ثلاثة اللي جات الساعة ما جاتش يشوفوها ثاني.
There are other duties to be attended to. A farewell visit to the graves of the fathers. And now the day of leaving comes to Agouim. By night, not a Jew will be left to call this place home. The holy scrolls are made ready. The signs on the doorposts which are commanded are not forgotten. Soon they will be fixed to new doorposts. And the scrolls will stand again in the Ark of the Lord. roster of the village is taken for the last time, and the heads of their families sign their names.
أنا ما نعرف نكتب أعمل باليهود أعمل اللي تحب لباس وين من البليزة تاعي هذا قديش عندك في مراكش عندي ثلاثة في مراكش ولا هنا قديش عندك بليزات سفارين على سمن يعملوا على داوود ده ننتي شوفوا علينا بجود شوفوا علينا بجود العزيز وحده.
Now the old life of the village stands, as it were, wrapped up in a few bundles, packed up in a few suitcases, and the journey to the new life begins. And so they have gone, the people of the villages, the Jews of Aguim, of Tabia, of Tassan, of the many score towns, large and small, that stood by the brooks, that run down the mountains, whose many lights once gleamed on the high Atlas, like stars of the night. The young Jews and the old, sick and the strong, the untaught and the learned, poor and the less poor. Gone down the roads that lead to the sea, gone on the great ships that sail for home, gone as almost more than 250,000 have gone from Morocco alone, and as still more will go in the days to come. Gone to a place where each may sit under his own vine and his own fig tree, in a land where, as it is written, none shall make him afraid.